let's face the facts of the matter. From the office of the governor down to the permanent secretary in the state civil service is entitled by the provisions of the extant law on monetization to have his or her official cars sold after him at the end of his term of office. The disbursement of those cars that were attached to the office of the governor, the deputy governor, and some of the serving commissioners was in pursuant of the provision of that particular law, which was not even enacted by Ibrahim Dangombo, but while during the tenure of Muhammad Danjuma Goji. And of course, we've seen that done by several regimes. Gentlemen of the press, if you remember, during Goji's time, the entire House of Assembly quarters at Chongo was sold off. The entire commissioner's quarters was sold off on the basis of that monetization policy. That is the extant law. So whatever disbursement that has been done by government was within the ambit and parameters of the law. And that is why we are saying to institute a committee to look into a matter that has been legitimized by the law, tantamount to witch hunting. And that is why we said, let's go to the court to determine that action. If the court says what was done was not in accordance with the provisions of the law, this committee can continue. But it cannot be that there is a pending suit against a committee and then that committee will proceed to undertake functions that are inimical to the rule of law. And let's even face it, ladies and gentlemen, this committee is everything rolled into one. It is the judge, it is the court, it is the police, it is even the prisons. Because the committee is making findings of fact. Before it could even conclude its sitting and make its findings to the government, they have started recovering and attaching property belonging to people they suspect, which means the committee has already made up its mind, even before finding of the facts, to conclude that those persons have gotten those properties disposed irregularly and not in accordance with the provisions of the law. So we want to disabuse the minds of the public to say that what was done by the Dankombo regime in terms of the disposal of government properties was within the four corners of the world. If this government has a vendetta agenda and is vindictive and malicious, it should find other ways of means of venting out this vindictiveness other than the path it is pursuing. This is an inglorious path, and all it will do is to negate the rule of law in our society, and it will only dampen its capacity to deliver on its mandate. This government has a Herculean task to deliver on the promises it makes to the people. It cannot begin by witch hunting and then trying to seek cheap political gains and arrant lies to the members of this society. If you remember, they were saying so a few weeks ago that the Dankombo regime left about 110 billion naira as debts. When that theory was debunked, that story has been thrown overboard and shown that it is a malicious tissue of lies that people are trying to peddle. I don't see what point we get as a government to begin to disabuse and disregard the rules of law, and then we're saying that we're practicing democratic efforts. A civilized democratic system operates on the basis of law and legality. Nothing else, nothing less could do. Gentlemen of the press, I thank you so much for your time.